and keeping Iona off the boards once the shot goes up.
Just into the ball game, freshman Sean Armand misfires from three. Off the long rebound, Downey at the other end. Offensive foul, no basket. Already the sixth team foul.
Yes, a good Machado. Excellent defense by Machado, hustling back. The point guard, Doug, is supposed to be the first line of defense. The point guard's got to be the first guy back. Machado got back and got in position to take that charge.
Well, Coach, I imagine during your time as head coach at both Wagner and at Fordham, you probably sat a player from time to time for discipline or one reason or another. What type of message, as we see here tonight from Coach Kloos with his point guard, do you think he might be trying to send?
Well, I just think he wants to get his attention, keep him more focused on the game, and obviously him coming in, he's shown it by having a good start in getting in the basketball game and getting involved right away, and his attitude has been great thus far.
Brandon Walters misses on the putback. Glover with his head up, looking to take it the other way himself. Smythe has a step along the baseline, but then Rossiter got his hand in the passing lane, and here comes Breeden. Downey on the wing, this time pulls up with no contact, but misses. Rodriguez, the fifth-year senior, hustling for the rebound. Machado, look away lob, and Glover knows what to do with it.
And Machado, he seems to find Glover wherever he is on the court. That's transition basketball. That's what Machado is good at. He can see the floor all over. Yeah, he can see everybody.
Well, those two have only hooked up this year. Even though Glover's an upperclassman, Machado's an upperclassman, they play together, Derek, like they've played together for years.
Absolutely. It's just a second nature, a knack that Machado has. When you have another great player, you just got to find them. Just like Sidney Lowe found me over in the corner with shooting that jump shot. Excellent point guards have that vision, Doug, where they can see the floor, they know where their shooters are, and they'll be able to find you wherever you are.
Well, Mike Glover, in his first year at Iona College, has certainly put up some eye-popping numbers. First in the MAC in scoring, first in field goal percentage by quite a large margin, second to only Ryan Rossiter in rebounds per game. Among the nation's best in double-doubles. Not surprisingly, he's got 13 of those so far this year, 10th most in the country. Make that 8th now in the country. And there is Optimus Prime, as they call him. Actually, other than the teachers and the coaches, I think everybody on campus calls him Optimus Prime.
Well, he certainly earned that nickname with his play. And he is a very dangerous offensive player and has proven they can dominate inside.
Well, in the great history of Iona College basketball, as Rossiter misses, Glover has a chance to become just the third player to average for a season 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. Jeff Ruland, who went on to a long NBA career, and Warren Isaac, the only other two to have done it. And right now with Glover at 19 points and 10.5 rebounds per game, he's in that conversation. Clarence Jackson, playing on a couple of sprained ankles, misfires. Machado has Glover with him, and that helps to open up the lane for him. The defender had to cheat over to Glover that time.
Yeah, Scott Machado is not only excellent passing, but he's a dangerous offensive player. He can score as well, so he took advantage of that opportunity and scooped a little layup there on the break. Averaging
nearly 14 points per game. Machado has his first two since coming off the bench here tonight. Jonathan Breeden, strong off the glass for two more. He's got 10.
Greatness has come to play here tonight. He's taking the ball to the basket and being aggressive on the offensive end, and he needs to get more of his teammates involved because he is carrying the load right now.
Well, he's got 10 of Siena's 14 points. Meanwhile, Ryan Rossiter, who averages 19 points per game, is yet to score and really has not been involved at all in the offense through the first 12 minutes. Chris Pelcher in the game, back up center for the Gales, sets the screen, gets it back from Machado, but he missed. Siena basketball. Well, whatever message was sent to Scott Machado having him come off the bench, it's working so far here tonight for the Gales. Welcome back to New Rochelle, New York. Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Iona with the early 7-point lead. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Saturday, ESPNU delivers 2 great games. First at 7 Eastern. New Jersey bragging rights are on the line as Seton Hall takes on Rutgers, followed at 9 Eastern by Kansas State against Colorado. It's part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. And those Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming off a thrilling finish on Wednesday when Jonathan Mitchell completed a 4-point play with 0.8 of a second on the clock as they knocked off 10th-ranked Villanova in a shocker, 77-76. The Scarlet Knights will look to carry that momentum into the weekend. And oh, by the way, the official who made that call is standing about 10 feet from us right here, Wally Rutecki, and you were giving him a little of the business before the ball game, Derek.
Wally's an excellent official. I said, it's too bad, Wally, your nickname is going to be the 4-point man for the rest of the year.
He said, please don't talk about that tonight. And what do we do 15 minutes later? We talk about it.
He's an excellent official. I respect Wally. He did a lot. He does Atlantic 10 games, MAC games, Big East games. He is a solid official.
7:30 remaining first half. Iona has been in front the entire way. Cross-court pass to Smythe, and he knocks down the 3. 10-point Iona lead.
And I talked about it earlier, Doug. That's the key to Iona's success. Get the ball in the Glover, and they got excellent outside shooters. They can hit those 3-point shots.
Foul in the backcourt against Armand. And again, this Siena offense has 10 points scored by Jonathan Breeden, 4 by everybody else, as Smythe has the stroke from downtown.
You got Smythe, you got Jenkins, and Armand. They got a lot of guys that are capable of knocking down that 3-point shot.
As is Clarence Jackson, and the senior from South Jersey with his first points here tonight. Preseason first-team All-MAC, but he has had a couple of ankle injuries, one to his left ankle, one to his right ankle, and chances are he will not be at 100% until the year's over. But in talking to Coach Mitch Bonaguro before the game today, as Armand misfires, and there's Jackson. Jackson hadn't had a real full practice until just 2 days ago. It had been months since Jackson participated fully. But he's starting to get a little bit better and starting to come back, but still, again, nowhere near 100%.
Yeah, talked to Coach Bonaguro earlier today in practice, and he said he thinks that Jackson is only about 70%. He's actually injured both ankles, Doug, and so he's really hobbling out there, but showing a lot of guts by coming back in and playing.
About the only time tonight Rossiter's had a look at the goal. He'll head to the free throw line. And Rossiter's about the only one without a serious injury, as Jackson, Brookins, Downey, Wignott, and Griffin have all missed time. Griffin could be back later this weekend from that shoulder injury, but again, Rakeem Brookins missing the game tonight after suffering a deep bone bruise, very painful injury in Monday's loss to Loyola.
With all those injuries, though, Doug, that goes to show you a veteran coach, Coach Bonaguro, has held this team together. They could have been out of the race. They're still in the race right now with all the injuries, and they can get this win tonight. They can get back on track and get it on.
And it sure helps when Ryan Rossiter's in the middle doing it for you every night. And after every ball game, Coach Bonaguro just shakes his head and says he's a great player. Very fortunate to have him. And he's pulled Siena back within 5. Glover posting inside. Instead, they swing it to the right wing. Machado. Look away pass. Glover had great position inside.
That's what they talked about earlier. Attacking that zone defense inside.
Off the pressure, Siena makes him pay with the senior co-captain Clarence Jackson.
Well, that's what they have to do. Against that Iona pressure, they got to look up the floor and attack. And Jackson did that and knocked down an important 3-point shot for Siena.
Right, Derek, you can't just be content to break the pressure. You got to make them pay for the pressure. Machado has his pocket pick. Let's see if Jackson has the wheels to finish. Indeed he does. The young man whose father played a year at Pittsburgh very quickly has 8 points for Siena, and the Saints have cut it to 2. Glover with 8 points, but answering at the other end off the turnover is Clarence Jackson. And just based, Derek, on that finish right there, you can see he is coming along. He is feeling better with the ankle.
Yeah, he is feeling a little better, but that's not the explosive Jackson we know. And usually he would just slam that basketball. But you can see he was gingerly a little careful. He wanted to make sure he secured the basketball and just get a nice, easy layup there.
Mitch Bonaguero's club on a 10-2 run to cut the lead down to 2. And there's Clarence Jackson, 6'4" senior from Marlton, New Jersey. He was the 6th man of the year as a sophomore a couple of years ago, and a real important part of those 3 MAC championship teams. And this was the year he was looking forward to as the senior, along with Ryan Rossiter. So far, it's not worked out the way they had hoped, but I don't think there's anybody in the MAC who would overlook them come MAC tournament time.
They are still the defending champs 3 years in a row. Until somebody beats them, they're still the champs.
No doubt about that. Under 5 minutes remaining first half. What Coach Wittenberg always keys as a important time, a determining time in the ball game. Glover left open, and he hits the 2. Very quickly into double figures. And Breeden turns it over. Wignott and Breeden mishandle the basketball. And the Gales, who again are coming in with the game plan to pressure Siena's backup point guard, who gets the start here tonight. That's now the 8th turnover committed by the Saints.
Now under pressure, it's shown that they've really given Siena some problems. If they continue to score, they will continue to put that pressure on.
Rashawn Dwight missed it. Odiana Sicki with the long rebound and saves it to Breeden. Jackson certainly draws his share of attention. Passes to his classmate Rossiter. Nice defense by Rodriguez to deny on the post.
Let's see if Siena tries to go in inside the Rossiter. He hasn't got a lot of touches here. Let's see if they go inside to him.
Rossiter lost the dribble, and here comes Glover behind his back. He's looking to do one thing, and that's finish, but he lost it on the way up. Siena basketball. Optimus Prime. Frustrated with the turnover. He and the Gales on top by 4.
And if your first visit to the dealership, you will receive a free oil change. And students, don't forget to enter yourself in the Honda Portable Navigation System Challenge. Get your raffle ticket in the hallway for a chance at that prize.
Welcome back to college basketball, built by the Home Depot as part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Sunday night at 6 Eastern, ESPNU delivers women's college basketball as Megan Simmons in 4th-ranked Tennessee takes on SEC and in-state rival Vanderbilt, led by Hannah Twomey. It's part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. And a chance to see the Lady Volunteers and their longtime head coach, Pat Summitt, who knows that young man because that's Odie Anasicki, whose older sister, Nikki Anasicki, was National Player of the Year for the Lady Vols back in the day.
I was teasing him, Odie, about his sister. I said, are you as good as your sister? He says, yeah, I'm as good as your sister. I said, well, come on and play for me because your sister was a heck of a basketball player for Tennessee.
Well, they grew up on Staten Island, and a lot of big programs were after Odie Anasicki, and he was a prime recruit for then head coach Fran McCaffrey and the Saints. He had Mitch Bonaguro on his staff at the time. And, you know, as Rossiter gets his first field goal, that Staten Island connection right there can be devastating in the low post, those two guys.
Absolutely. Staten Island has some excellent players, and I tried to recruit both of those guys, and those guys, what a coup for Siena to get both of those big guys. And Anaseki's going to have an outstanding career, and Rossiter's already had a great career at Siena thus far.
Jackson nearly with the steal. Rashawn Dwight with a nice recovery. Under 3 minutes remaining first half. Iona led by as many as 10. Siena has gotten right back in it. Wignot to Anasicki, and he lays it in. First 2 points for the 6'8", 230-pound sophomore, one of 8 children. As mentioned, big sister Nikki. They regularly call and text each other, and he relies very heavily on his sister as a friend and coach and mentor. Glover, nice look to the cutting Rodriguez.
Yeah, excellent look by Glover, looking inside for his buddy. And Iona right now is executing very well, getting that ball inside to Glover and the inside guys there, and giving Siena a lot of trouble on the defensive end.
Now, Alejo Rodriguez had 2 surgeries on the same hip during this past offseason on separate injuries, and he has struggled with that and had pain and doesn't have the flexibility or strength that he once had, but he has certainly looked good so far here tonight. Breeden off the bounce. He's now got 12 points to lead Siena.
Breeden is really stepping up on the offensive end, being aggressive and really attacking Iona's zone defense.
12 points, just 3 off Breeden's career high, getting the start tonight for the injured point guard. How about Rossiter, your 6'10" center, finishing through traffic?
Oh, nifty move by Rossiter. Usually a guard doesn't pass to a big guy like that, but Rossiter showed his versatility by taking the ball best, inside, scooping in there. Nice move. I like it, like that by Rossiter.
And our first tie of the ball game at 32. Number 1 fouled number 1. Anasicki got a piece of Glover before he could put the shot up on the rim.
Look at Rossiter right here. Oh, he made a move. That's like a guard. Guard makes moves like that. He showed his versatility there. I love this kid Rossiter. He's shown me something on both ends of the floor, offense and defense.
Well, he comes from a good basketball family. His older brother Steven played at Davidson. He was on that Steph Curry team. And also their father was a terrific basketball player as well. Was the captain of the basketball team for the FDNY. Siena with a chance for its first lead. With the basketball under a minute to go first half. Clarence Jackson. Pass taken away. Nice defense again by Rodriguez. Machado to Jenkins. Pokes his way down the lane. Finds Rodriguez. Very versatile all the way around. You got a lot of moving parts, and the Gales have a lot of guys who can do different things.
Yeah, excellent guard play by Iona. They can really, all the guards can handle the basketball. They can shoot. They can pass. They can defend. That's where they have the advantage here against Siena with all the injuries, the guard position.
Shot clock is off. 10 seconds to go in the first half. Breeden's had the hot hand for the Saints. He fires away. That would have given Siena the lead at the half. Instead, it's Iona with a 2-point lead as Breeden and the Saints head to the locker room. Again, Jonathan Breeden getting the start tonight only because of the injury to Rakeem Brookins, and Breeden has certainly taken advantage, leading all scorers with 12 points. Coming up at halftime, Game Day guys will preview Saturday's big games, and also my partner here, Derek Wittenberg, will break down the play. And those of you old enough, you'll remember, as we are at one of the former homes of the great Jim Valvano. Also, our first half highlights and statistics. It's Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Got ourselves a ball game. Iona with a 2-point lead over Siena. Back to New Rochelle right after this. ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cisco. Together, we are the human network. And State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Go to State Farm Nation on Facebook today.
Okay. That half.
Yeah, in under 40 minutes.
He's just a magnet to the ball, so indirectly they would have been about, I would say, like, you know how they say, like, wing shares, like in baseball? I feel like he would. Here, can we read it off of that? Oh, sure. 75 to 80, okay.
And so he went straight from here to there. He had started his recruitment of you when he was at Iona.
Didn't recruit me.
Oh, okay.
He came in after while I was a sophomore. And the story I'm going to tell you is the story about.
In terms of the player, what it would do is Glover starts, Greg is still out, Arms becomes a number 3 post. So Waconi really wouldn't, although Waconi is good. Well, Waconi is really solid. Waconi can rebound. Waconi might be the best rebounder. Arms can rebound too, but Glover would have been their rebound. They wouldn't have gotten slaughtered. Some of their losses where they got one in the east stretch. Last game I did rookies.
You can keep it as the play, and I'll mention the pass. How about that?
All right.
Uh-huh. And right here, I can talk through it until you, if you want to just freeze it. Terry Gannon.
The old four corners.
Yes.
Imagine that. It's the way hoops used to be played, you know?
Yeah, right here. Freeze at 10 seconds. Now, if you want to interest it, once I receive the basketball, you want to freeze it again, and then I can explain. Yes, you're right there. No way was I passing to him. I'm going to tell you that. Jimmy would have chewed my head off if I'd have passed it to Terry. Okay. All right, I'll try to do it quickly.
You can give Steve the same speech that Jimmy gave. I got a guy in the truck telling me I got to wrap this up. Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That was something. Yeah. I've got tumors all over my body, and I'm supposed to listen to some guy flashing a light at me. And then he said something in Italian that I didn't get, and I don't know what he called him.
Phenomenal.
You heard that more than once, probably.
I've heard that quite a bit.
That's too funny that you know that word right off the top of your head because you heard it 1,000 times. Hey, Mac.
You know, very well without Machado, and
Welcome back to one of the former homes of the late, great Jim Valvano. He was head coach here at Iona College from 1975 to 1980, a Hall of Famer inducted in 1994. And his former team, the Gales, enjoy a 2-point lead over Siena. And welcome back, everybody, to the Heinz Athletic Center in New Rochelle, New York. Doug Sherman along with Jimmy V's former star guard at North Carolina State, Derek Wittenberg. And Derek, when you come to Iona and know that there's a Jimmy V presence here in this building, what does it make you think of?
Oh, I love the man. I'd say I enjoyed playing with him, Doug, and he was just exciting. He made you believe in yourself. And I just walked around yesterday when I was here at practice on Thursday and just rubbing on his plaque and looking at him. And he just brings back great memories to me. And I even wore a pin, the Jimmy V pin, in his honor and everything tonight. And I can't tell you how much I miss him.
Well, no matter where Jimmy V was, as an assistant coach at Rutgers or here at Iona College and then with you at North Carolina State, he impacted lives. And those relationships, even in his death, are still remembered so fondly by anybody who came in contact with him.
He had a charismatic personality. Anybody that met Jim Valvano for the first time feels as though that they were friends, and he would just spend time with people, not even knowing them for a minute. And that's what made him special. And
again, your work with the Jimmy V Foundation, as that pin on your lapel says, helps to carry on his legacy.
Absolutely, and we've raised a ton of money, over millions of dollars, because of the Jimmy V Foundation. But that's his vision. That's his passion. He wants to help people.
Now, Derek, I've heard this story. This is one of the great stories of all time. I've heard it many times. I've heard it from you a couple of times. Tell the people out there, when you first met Jimmy V and he told you where he was a coach at here at Iona College, how that conversation went.
Well, it was at the Boston Shootout, Doug, actually. And it was a high school tournament. It's the only tournament they had at the time. And this crazy Italian guy comes up and grabs me and talks about, hey, I'm Jim Valvano, Iona College. And then the next year, Norm Sloan leaves for Florida, and our new coach is Jim Valvano. And I turned to Sydney, I said, Sydney, that's that crazy coach that owns a college. He said, no, that's Iona College. I said, Iona College? I thought he owned a college.
I don't go a week now in my college basketball season without thinking about that story. I think that's hysterical that you weren't sure whether he owned the school or if it was Iona College. Now you know. Now there was one play, one signature play, obviously, where you and he are forever linked. And I want to show the audience that play. Everybody's seen it, but I want to hear your perspective of the play for the final play for the 1983 National Championship. North Carolina State against Houston. Take us through this final possession.
Well, here, out of the timeout, we were preparing for the 5 play, a man-to-man play, but Houston, as you can see, came out in a 1-3-1 trap. So we kind of spread it out into an opposite of that is a 2-1-2 set. They kind of passed the ball around. And we know from practicing, Jim taught us this, that in time and score situations, you have to take the last shot. So as you can see here, we're passing the ball around. There's a very close call here. Drexler almost stole that basketball. Now, we got to freeze it here. Now Sidney Lowe has the basketball. It's only 10 seconds left. And now he's looking to pass it Thurl up. Elijah Wan's there. I'm the only outlet Thurl can see. And as you can see, holding it right here, Terry Gannon is open. And no way that I'm going to pass it to a sophomore because he might freeze and not shoot the basketball. And lo and behold, I saw Lorenzo Charles under the basket for the famous pass.
A fantastic pass. And really, you say you saw him. I don't think you were looking at him. I think that was a no-look pass. And then there's Jimmy V looking for somebody to hug. And clearly the best assist of your college basketball career.
Well, I just want to tell all the folks out there, but after 28 years, it's still a pass.
Assist to Wittenberg. They won the national championship in 1983. Coached by Jim Valvano, who we remember here tonight at Iona College, where he used to be the Gales head coach for several years, and he's a Hall of Famer here at Iona. We'll take a break and come back to the Heinz Athletic Center, where the Iona Gales and Siena Saints are playing a Friday Night MAC showdown. Jimmy V would love the action. It's the Gales 34, the Saints 32. ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cisco. Together, we are the human network. Back at the Big Apple, Iona with a 34-32 lead. We are actually in New Rochelle, New York, a northern suburb of New York City. It's part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Along with Derek Wittenberg, this is Doug Sherman. Mike Glover and the Iona Gales enjoying a 2-point lead. We update our Star Watch. Glover, the 6'7" junior forward from the Bronx, averaging 19 points per game, has 10 at the break. Siena finally did get Ryan Rossiter a little bit more involved those last 5 minutes, Derek.
Yes, in the second half, especially in his first 5 minutes, I think it's important for Siena to get him the basketball, get him some touches early, get him involved. And I think they got to also take care of the basketball and not turn it over.
And once again, neither starting point guard starting here in the second half. Clarence Jackson gives Siena its first lead of the night, 35-34. Well, Scott Machado not starting at the point for Iona. We asked again the coaching staff for a reason, and again they just said coach's decision, no answer given, and that is certainly their prerogative. And for Siena, Rakeem Brookins, the freshman point guard, out indefinitely with a bone bruise in his upper back. Jenkins no. Wignot tried to pull it down but could not do it. And it gives us a chance to take a look at the first half statistics, and pretty even on a lot of fronts except for an assist. Once Machado came off the bench, the offense flowed pretty well for the Gales.
Yeah, Iona's excellent of not just Machado, but everybody. They do a nice job with all the guards of passing in basketball and feeding their big guys and their shooters from outside, and they average at least 17, 18 assists a game.
Well, the nation's leading assist man, Machado, had 4 assists in 12 minutes off the bench. Traveling violation. The Saints turn it back over to the Gales.
What's interesting here, Doug, is that a lot of times coaches don't start your star player in the first half for discipline reasons, but they elected also, Coach Klutz, to not start him in the second half. I thought that was very interesting.
Although you saw him taking off his warm-up, and I wonder if Coach gave him the heads up that, you know, the way this is going in the early part of the second half, maybe I'm not quite so upset with you. Get you back in there sooner than later. But Breeden had himself a terrific first half. Leads Siena with 12 points. This is Breeden with the ball. Got the start at the point. Back to Jackson. Long rebound, Owen Wignot, and Siena can reload.
Well, Jackson, he can get hot from the outside, but I like to see some of the offense go through Rossiter, and it will make those shots a lot easier.
Breeden blocked, but a foul called against Rashawn Dwight of the Gales.
Breeden, excellent job of penetrating, and they couldn't help off because Rossiter's right there. Nice job of recognizing that, and Breeden going through the free throw line.
There you see Machado along with freshman Sean Armand about to check in with Jonathan Breeden at the foul line. Breeden got almost no playing time last year as a freshman, and again there was Ronald Moore, then the starting point guard for Siena, who led the nation in assists, much like Scott Machado is this year for Iona. But because of that, Jonathan Breeden got next to no playing time last year. He battled migraines, part of the equation last year as well, but he's been a solid backup. And now tonight getting his opportunity to replace Rakeem Brookins, making the start. He's making a terrific impression now with 13 points.
Doug, that's something Jimmy Valvano used to teach us all the time as players. You have to always be ready. You never know when your opportunity is going to come. And Breeden's opportunity has arrived tonight because of injuries.
Machado, nice job on the offensive glass, but then he stepped on the end line.
Iona's setting up their pressure now. It looks like they're going to trap in the end, so let's see how Siena handles it.
They handle it well to Owen Wignot, their small forward. Wignot feeds Rossiter in the post. The immediate double team forces the kick out. This time Rossiter beats the double team but misses off the window. Rashawn Dwight, Scott Machado, Mike Glover, Alejo Rodriguez, and Sean Armand on the floor for the Gales in their home whites. Dwight, nothing but net. Iona back on top, 37-36.
And that's why Iona's dangerous. They can really shoot the three-point shot. And Siena's going to have to step out and chase them off that three-point line because they're very dangerous at knocking down those threes.
Well, Dwight is a 41% shooter this year from beyond the arc. Machado whistled for the foul as they tried to bottle up Reed. Well, over the last 12 games, Rashawn Dwight averaging over 10 points per game, coming into this one now at 9.9.
He's a senior, Doug. He needs to step off if Iona wants to get this win. And he's been there. He's seen it all. And he would love to go out his senior year and get a big win against one of the rivalries against Siena. .15 to shoot. Anasicki sets the high ball screen. Breeden, nice bounce pass. Rossiter. He runs into Rodriguez, who is whistled for the foul. Nice looking set that time for the Saints. Yes, what they're doing here, Doug, is a little screen on the ball with Breeden, and he's getting into the lane. And when Iona steps up to help, Breeden is making an excellent pass down to Rossiter. And Doug here, a little screen on Anasicki, sets a screen on the ball out of the zone, and Rossiter goes to the basket hard and gets fouled. And I like the way he went up there aggressively attacking the basketball.
Well, you know, even though Breeden didn't get many minutes on the court during games last year, just the fact that he practiced all year long against someone as accomplished as Ronald Moore must have helped for his growth and development, right, Coach?
Absolutely. The experience is invaluable, playing against all the veteran players, and they get to watch that opportunity.
Mike Glover with a chance for three. See Optimus shaved into the side of his head. That's his nickname, Optimus Prime. 6'7" junior from the Bronx. Little ball fake. Goes one way, goes the other. Anasicki just tries to stand up straight, and Glover able to finish.
He's unique in there. Look, he's twisted and turned and spinned and accepted the contact and really finished strong that time.
Well, after being declared ineligible at Seton Hall, Glover had a lawsuit drawn up against both the NCAA and against the Big East. Now, those lawsuits were ultimately dismissed. Glover went about his way. Actually spent some time thinking he was going to go to Hofstra last year on a transfer, but that didn't work out after Tim Welsh was dismissed, and then thought he was going to St. Francis of New York, but Brian Nash left as head coach, and so their bad fortune is Tim Cluse's good fortune that he had assistant coach Jared Grosso on his staff and helped to get the commitment from the man who just came up with a steal, Michael Glover. Glover gives it to Machado, who gave it back to Glover, but they could not connect. A rare misconnect between those two here tonight.
Yes, Iona is turning up the heat, Doug, with this pressure, and Siena is really having some trouble with it. And oh man, almost alley-oop from Machado to Glover.
And there's Tim Cluse, 1983 Hofstra graduate. Machado off the mark, Breeden with the rebound. And again, Mike Glover's nickname, Optimus Prime, for his New York City street ball prowess. And they say he's like a transformer with some of the things he can do. He is somebody who, to me, looks like he could be an NFL wide receiver or tight end. He's got that type of skill set. Machado pulls down the offensive rebound. There's another lob. And again, Glover couldn't finish, and he goes down hard and comes up holding the back of his head. Siena's got a 5-on-4. Glover now back to his feet. Jackson from the corner. And the Saints make Iona pay for Glover being down. Tied again, 40 apiece.
Jackson is hot right now. They're really looking for him. And if he can get his three-point shot going, well, Siena's going to be tough to handle tonight if they can get the ball in the roster a lot more.
Off the turnover, here comes Jackson again. 3-on-3. That break was broken from the start. But Jackson, rather than forcing it, pulls it back out, and Siena resets. 5 minutes gone here in the second half at the Heinz Athletic Center in New Rochelle. Along with Derek Wittenberg, this is Doug Sherman for a Friday Night Mac Showdown. The three-time defending conference champs from Siena looking to sweep the season series from Iona. You can see Mike Glover still holding his back as he has gone down hard a couple of times. Now he reties his laces as we head to commercial break. But Mike Glover, this is the risk you take when you play up above the rim. Sometimes you go down hard. And here's a look at tonight's numbers you need to know. In Ohio State, does it still have a date with destiny? Still unbeaten this year at 24 in a row. Meanwhile, here in the metropolitan New York area, everybody's buzzing about what Steve Lavin and the Johnnies are doing, having just knocked off their third top 10 team of the season earlier this week.
Absolutely. I saw the game last night against Connecticut, and St. John's was on all cylinders. They're playing great. And then to beat Duke the way they beat Duke, I tell you, St. John's is hot right now with those 9 seniors. They're going to be very dangerous as the Big East goes on later this season.
And ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi says there will be 11 Big East teams to make the NCAA tournament field of 68, and that would be the most all-time for any one single conference. And certainly St. John's, with that terrific RPI and the terrific strength of schedule at this point, certainly look like they're on the inside. And it sure is good for metropolitan basketball here in New York City and the greater metropolitan area to have St. John's back as one of the dominant teams in the Big East.
Absolutely, especially playing in one of the most famous arenas in the country, the Garden. The Garden is rocking right now.
Well, the fact that last night's game against Connecticut wasn't 50-50 blue and red up in the stands. It was back to being mostly red, and it was clearly a dominant home court advantage at the Garden for St. John's.
Yeah, that's what winning does for you. When you get those big wins at home, especially against highly ranked teams like Connecticut and Duke, that will always bring all the fans back.
Yeah, the alumni start paying more attention. You know all about that, Coach. Absolutely. During your days at Wagner. And then at Fordham, the alumni certainly like it when you win. This is a Siena program that's done a lot of winning in recent years. In fact, the Saints have not lost to these Iona Gales in what is now 1,845 days. That's how long it's been since the Gales were able to knock off the Saints. Shot clock at 2. Clarence Jackson stepped on the baseline. Good defense by Smythe and Rodriguez.
Yes, Iona right now, Doug, has changed to a man-to-man. Yes, Rodriguez comes over and steps in. Excellent help defense there. Iona has changed to man-to-man defense and really has helped them in the last 2 possessions.
Now they forced the turnover by Jackson, who actually it looked like he dribbled the ball out of bounds before he stepped out of bounds. Jenkins off to Rashawn Dwight. Back to Jenkins, wide open. Nice 2-man game.
Absolutely. Good patience by Iona that time. They got some dribble penetration, a nice kick out to Jenkins. And it all started by the touch by Glover.
Jenkins knocks the ball into Mitch Bonaguro, the opposing coach. Breeden, Jackson, Wignott, Rossiter, and Anisicki, the 5 on the floor in green for the Siena Saints. Screen and roll to Anisicki. He's not much of a jump shooter and apparently not much of a passer. That ball winds up in the front row of the seats. Now 3 small boys have the basketball and they're not giving it back.
Well, I don't blame them. Those kids.
MAC Associate Commissioner Ken Taylor just made a big steal behind us to get the ball away from the kids. Otherwise, we might have had to call the game.
Give the ball back to the kids. Let the kids play.
I haven't seen Ken Taylor move that fast in a long time. Iona with the basketball on top by 3.
We'll see if Iona goes back inside or tries to penetrate that zone and take the outside shot.
There's a terrific look inside that zone. Mike Glover now with 15 points.
He's the key, Doug. Get the ball inside to him. Good things happen for Iona once Glover touches the basketball.
If you're Siena here, you've got to look inside to Rossiter, right?
Rossiter has not had a lot of touches here in the second half. Well, let's see if they'll get the ball inside to him.
The league's preseason player of the year is called for an offensive foul. Now, Ryan Rossiter draws as much attention from defenses as anybody in the country. And certainly, as you see here, there are 3 white shirts around him at any one time, and that time he forced it just a bit.
Absolutely. On that spin play, it's tough to recognize the help defense, and Iona stepped in and took that charge. Good recognition by the Iona defense.
Rossiter averages 19 points and 13 rebounds a game. He has just 7 so far here tonight. White missed, and here comes Clarence Jackson. Nearly an over and back violation. Anisicki put it on the floor, didn't realize Dwight was standing right behind him. Dwight knocked it away, and Iona will have it when we come back. Mike Glover and the Iona Gales have scored the last 5 points to retake the lead at 45-40 here at the Heinz Athletic Center in New Rochelle, New York.
Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're putting your back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're putting your back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown.
Welcome back to college basketball, built by the Home Depot as part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. Iona, led by Mike Glover, has scored the last 5 points to open up a 5-point lead once again. And welcome back, everybody, to the Heinz Athletic Center. Doug Sherman along with former NC State star guard Derek Wittenberg. And at the other end of the floor, Derek, the last few minutes, Iona's played man-to-man defense, and that switch has served them well.
Well, let's see if they go back inside to Glover, where they had some success early in the second half.
Glover's limping just a bit. And again, remember earlier in the half, he got a hard fall where he landed on his back, and Glover continues to limp around. I think that's from a different collision which just occurred a moment ago.
Good offensive players always limp on defense, but they don't limp on offense.
You sound like you speak from experience. Jonathan Breeden scored a lot in the first half. Haven't heard much from him here in the second half. 13 points all told. And he and Anisicki have basically an unforced error.
Little confusion there by Siena. Iona was actually started off in man, but it was in a matchup zone and really confused him.
Yeah, Glover in the middle there, you can see clearly is not quite right. And again, earlier in the half, we saw him fall hard on his back and bumped his head on that same fall. Yet he plays on. He's out there with Smythe, Jenkins, Rodriguez, and Rashawn Dwight. Glover thought about it. Now 10 to shoot. Nice help by Rossiter. But Jenkins recognizes with the big fella on him, he's not coming all the way out.
Yeah, that's where they hurt you right there. It was a little confusion in the Siena defense, and Rossiter ended up with a guard on the outside, and he took advantage of it and knocked that three right down in his face.
8 straight points by the Gales to reaffirm control. Siena led briefly here in the second half, 35-34 on a Clarence Jackson three.
It's a tough matchup for Rossiter out there on Jenkins, a guard, and couldn't defend that three-point shot. But since they've gone man-to-man, Doug, they've gone on an 8-0 run, and it's really energized their defense and offense.
Well, Jenkins has been on a good roll lately, averaging 12 points per game over his last 7. He is the nephew of Shaheen Holloway, the former Seton Hall star. Dangerous part of the ball game here for Siena, down 8, and they have gone stone cold now at the offensive end.
Well, Siena needs to stop here, and they can't afford for another three to kind of give them an opportunity to break this game open.
Well, there's the stop. Sophomore power forward O.D. Anisicki stepping into the passing lane. Jonathan Breeden. Off the window and in. That matches his career high with 15 points as a starter tonight.
Yeah, good recognition in there by Breeden and just getting some early offense, and they kind of left him alone, and he knocked down the bank shot. Don't see many bank shots today. That's a nice fundamental shot by Breeden.
But Breeden has looked very comfortable out there in a starting role tonight. Again, a young man who last year as a freshman got virtually no playing time, and he's only starting tonight because of a back injury suffered by Rakeem Brookins on Monday. Brookins is here with the team, but in street clothes, as Breeden runs the point for the Saints.
Iona's back in their matchup. Let's see if they screen on the ball and get some more action.
Breeden a little long on that one. Jermel Jenkins into the front court for Iona. The Gales have lost 4 of their last 5, but did beat Manhattan the last time out. Their arch rival on Monday, 85-67. Jenkins again, nothing but net.
Oh boy, they're dangerous from the outside. You got to pick those guys up. Smith and Jenkins and all these perimeter guys for Iona. They can shoot the basketball.
Glover winds up on the deck, and Ryan Rossiter winds up with the personal foul. This Iona team, led by Jenkins, can be prolific from beyond the arc. They dropped 18 on Albany earlier this year and starting to heat up against Siena tonight.
set, go. Alex is our winner. Alex, come over to the scorer's table to receive your prize. And Maurice, thank you very much for taking part. Congratulations, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, and about the sports, the newest member of Hillstream Sports. Is our one-stop shop and place for all your athletic needs. Visit www.sports.com or call us at 1-800-398-7625. Read it all.
Back in New Rochelle, New York, with Iona on top of Siena by 9. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Saturday, ESPNU delivers 2 great games. First at 7 Eastern, Seton Hall against Rutgers for bragging rights in the Garden State. Followed at 9 o'clock Eastern by Kansas State, trying to avoid the season sweep at the hands of surprising Colorado. It's all part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. A chance to see Rutgers after Wednesday's dramatic finish against 10th-ranked Villanova, where Jonathan Mitchell knocked down what turned out to be the game-winning 4-point play.
Jonathan Mitchell from right down the road at Mount Vernon High School from Bob Cimino. Big-time shot by Mitchell. The left-hander is having an outstanding year for Rutgers.
Chance to see the Scarlet Knights at 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPNU. Well, as we talked about, it's great to see the metropolitan area, you know, really getting rejuvenated again this year with St. John's. But it also, you know, you got to take into account Rutgers and Seton Hall. The better they are, the better it is for this area in terms of basketball. With the Knicks being better now, it just is so much better for hoops in this area.
And let's not forget about St. Peter's in the MAC. They're doing an outstanding job as well. So the Metro in New York is having an outstanding year.
Mike Glover, no. Anasicki, the rebound. Anasicki somehow got the pass through the hands of Jenkins. Anasicki will go, or rather Wignott will go to the free throw line. A blocking foul called against the Gales. And again, it's Mike Glover winding up on the deck. Derek, he is going to need a few ice packs after this one.
Well, I like his effort. I mean, he's not just playing offense tonight, but he's also trying to mix it up on defense, stepping in and taking that charge. That goes to show you what kind of competitor he is. He wants to win this game, though.
Well, I wonder in a ball game like this where you've got arguably the 2 front runners for MAC Player of the Year in Glover and Rossiter, do they take it personally? Do they want to say, I got to stop you because I want to show I'm better than you?
No, I think these 2 kids want to win the basketball game. They're great teammates, and they want to win. They want to get back to that. They want to get to the tournament so they can go to the NCAA tournament, and they want to help their teammates.
Jayon James, a freshman from Patterson, New Jersey, out of Patterson Catholic, into the ball game for the first time for Iona. Gales up by 7 with a basketball, and this is James with it. And since being tied at 40 apiece, Iona has been in control, and Scott Machado has not been a part of it. The all-conference point guard who is on the bench tonight. James able to lay it in off the feed from Glover.
That was a nifty pass by Glover. You don't realize the big guy, you talk about his scoring, but his passing ability, he's really shown us something tonight. Here's Glover, a little spin move and no-look pass underneath. Glover is stepping up his game.
And much like Rossiter at the other end, Glover draws so much attention that if he's able to make passes like that when he's got 2 and 3 green jerseys around him, it's going to be a field day for his teammates. Breeden missed it. Rossiter after it. Rashawn Dwight banging with Wignott, and it's Iona basketball.
Outstanding hustle by both teams that time. Really trying to get after that basketball. And a dangerous time right now for Siena. They got to get some stops because I don't know, with this 9-point lead, if they knock a 3-point shot in. Oh, they changed defenses here, Doug. Siena's going back to the man-to-man.
Near steal by Breeden. Jenkins works around him, into the lane, finds Glover to the reverse, and Anasicki's going to be called for the foul. Well, keep in mind when these two teams met in Albany back on January 3rd, Siena beat Iona 73-67, and in that game, Derek, Rossiter went for 26 points and 15 rebounds on 9 of 17 from the floor. And so far tonight, Rossiter been held in check. 7 points, 8 rebounds, only 5 shots from the floor.
Yes, he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities here in the first half or the second half. If they want to get back in this game, you got to get Rossiter that ball.
From what you've seen, Coach, how much of that is Iona's defense and how much of that is Siena not finding its own big fella often enough?
I think it's a little bit of both, but Breeden has been stepping up and making some big plays, and Jackson has gotten hot from the outside, but I like to see them go inside out and let Rossiter touch the basketball and see what happens.
And there they go into Rossiter, and the foul given by Iona.
Good recognition by Jackson that time, getting the ball into Rossiter. So something's good is going to happen. He's going to get fouled. He's going to make a nice shot in there, or he's going to make an excellent pass to the outside.
And Rossiter, for a big fella, is a good free throw shooter at 76% on the year. Well, he became the all-time rebound king on Monday night in Siena College history when he passed Lee Matthews. Rossiter admits that back when he was in high school and had committed to Siena, he looked into the media guide and had an idea. He went and found the name of Lee Matthews and thought maybe someday I can catch him at over 1,000 rebounds for his career, and true enough, he's done it.
Absolutely. Rebound is all effort and determination, and you got to want to rebound, and Rossiter is certainly outstanding at the rebounding the basketball.
Rashawn Dwight. Well, like I said, this Iona team can fill it up from beyond the arc, and an amazing shooting performance. Back on November 23rd, Iona hit 18 three-pointers. Kyle Smythe hit 8. Jermel Jenkins hit 7. They hit 60% in that game from beyond the arc. And not surprisingly, one going away, and we have seen them start to find the range here in the second half, Coach.
Yes, they can knock them down. You got to pay attention to all the perimeter players on Iona, because that three-point play is so dangerous. It can put the game out of reach. It just seems like the game was very close, and Iona just stretched that lead to 13 just that quickly with the three-point shot.
And in talking about the all-time Siena College ranks for Ryan Rossiter, he is all-time rebounding king in the history of the Indians/Saints. They changed their nickname over back in 1989. We're at the Heinz Athletic Center, just outside of New York City. A Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference ball game between Iona and Siena. Two old rivals. And they are paired again here on Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. Wignott blocks the shot of Glover. Those might be the two best athletes on the floor. Wignott can jump out of the gym. Downey did not protect the ball well, and Smythe very nearly took it away. The Boo Birds are out here at the Heinz Athletic Center. They think Downey was the last to touch, but it'll be green basketball.
A good hustle by both teams right there. Well, they are getting after it. Look at that emotion and that passion by Smith.
And he's got a bloody nose now, as you see, having to be treated over on the Iona bench. And they will have to stop the bleeding and clean up the blood from his uniform before he can come back into the game. .455 remaining in regulation. And the officials are taking another look to see if there was something in terms of an elbow thrown or something that caused that blood. Whenever the officials see blood and they don't know exactly how it occurred, it's their prerogative to go and check from the monitor to make sure that Kyle Downey did not do something flagrant, or if it was just in the normal course of action in trying to get the basketball.
Yeah, they got to look at it here, but I think this just a excellent hustle played by both teams. Guys scrambling after the basketball, reaching. It could have been an accidental little hit in the mouth. I didn't see anything there.
No, neither did I. And the blood is there now, but from where we picked it up, there didn't appear to be any contact between Downey and the face of Smythe. So maybe something occurred earlier. And the officials continue to look as Smythe continues to receive treatment as they have a couple of pieces of cotton stuffed up each nostril to try and stop the bleeding, so that their redshirt sophomore guard from River Edge, New Jersey, and out of Don Bosco Prep School can get back into the game for the Gales. Now, this stoppage of play, Coach, does it benefit either side? You know, Iona had stretched the lead up to 13, now at 11. Does this help Siena try to break some of that momentum?
Well, I think it gives them a little quick timeout here to talk over some things, and it's an 11-point game with 5 minutes to go. And what Siena has to talk about is they got to get some stops and they got to score. And the only way they're going to do that is that they got to get the ball in the roster on the offensive end. On the defense end, they got to stop these guards from making these three-point shots and kind of defend Glover on the inside.
Now they can go to the video replay if a flagrant foul occurred that was missed by officials that caused the player to become injured. And Wally Ratecki has gathered the officials and made their determination, and Wally will come over here and tell us what has just occurred.
Just got a little inadvertent contact over here. No elbow, nothing.
Okay.
Inadvertent elbow, little contact, but no problem. So they thoroughly checked those replays to make sure there was nothing that warranted a penalty there. And so Tim Kluse and his Gales play on, and they have to clean up a little more blood from the floor as it came out of the nose of Kyle Smythe. But from what we saw, Derek, that appeared to be the proper call. Well, when Scott Machado left the ball game, it was tied at 40, and since that time, his teammates have outscored Siena 18-7. Again, Machado not in the starting lineup either in the first half or second half tonight for the first time this year. A coach's decision. Coach Kluse and his assistants have chosen not to expand on that, so we don't know what he did. And now Kyle Downey with a three-point shot, pulling Siena back with an 8.
Oh, big shot by Downey to get Siena back in this game.
Downey's first 3 points for Siena.
Yes. 3-point shot by Downey.
ESPNU College Basketball is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And in part by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. And FYE, strictly for your entertainment. A look there at the west side of Manhattan as we take a look at our Cisco game track. Siena down 8-2 Iona. Jonathan Breeden got the start at the point for the injured Rakeem Brookins. He has played well, scoring his career high with 15 points. Jermel Jenkins heating up from beyond the arc, and Mike Glover despite a very physical contest, has been effective. 17 points and 5 rebounds for Iona, looking for the season split. And again, Scott Machado has played only 16 minutes of his ball game so far, and we wonder about perhaps why he was not allowed to start the ball game here tonight.
Well, I trust the coaches, and if a coach makes a decision like that for good reason, it could be something that personally that happened off the court. I interviewed Scott Machado and Coach Cluse on Thursday, and everything seemed fine, but you never know what happens in a program, and you want to keep those in-house, and I think they had handled the situation very well.
And whatever it was that occurred, it was not so bad that they don't have him in the lineup or in uniform. He's out there right now with the basketball. He is the nation's leader in assists per game, but in his limited minutes so far here tonight, Machado has 5 assists. Dwight, no. Nice hustle by Alejo Rodriguez, and the foul called against Downey.
Oh, what hustle by Rodriguez.
Yep.
Really getting after that loose ball. Those 50-50 balls, Doug, those are key plays in a tight game with 4 minutes to go. You got to come up with those loose balls.
Rodriguez, a 6'8" senior out of Mount St. Michael Academy in New York.
Yeah, Iona here doesn't have to hurry with an 8-point lead with 4 minutes left. They want to take their time and see if they can get a good shot in this possession.
Machado, Jenkins, and Dwight in the perimeter. Rodriguez and Glover inside. Screen and roll. Rodriguez, no, but there is Optimus Prime. Michael Glover with the putback. And he now leads everybody with 19 points, matching his season average. And that Optimus shaved into his head is special for tonight. And he is playing special right now.
Yeah, but that was all set up by Jenkins.
Saturday at 5 Eastern, ESPNU delivers a Battle of Missouri in ESPN Rise High School Basketball presented by Nike, as future Florida Gator Bradley Beal leads 13th ranked Chaminade against McClure North, and future Arkansas Razorback BJ Young. 2 of the most highly rated guards in the country coming out of high school, and you'll get a chance to see each of them. One bound to be a Gator, one bound to be a Razorback. 5 o'clock Saturday, tomorrow, ESPNU. Iona's lead back to double figures, under 4 minutes remaining. Breeden to Rossiter. He gets it back, blocked by Rodriguez.
It was unfortunate by Siena. Got a nice inside play by Rossiter, but excellent block by Rodriguez. And let's see if Iona's going to take some time off the clock and burn it a little bit with this 10-point lead with 3 minutes to go.
Glover backing down Rossiter, who blocks the shot. Glover, though, gets it back, and he is fouled. Chance to shoot 2 for the junior forward for the Iona Gales. As we head to break, Mike Glover doing a little bit of everything. He's been on the floor above the rim, leading the Gales. As part of Rivalry Week, we turn back the clock 11 years to the 2000 Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championship game between these two teams, Iona and Siena. The Gales prevailed over the Saints, as you saw, 84-80. Diary Wilson, Tariq Kirksey, Nakia Miller, the keys of that ball game, and for that Iona team that went on to the NCAA tournament. Right now, Iona in command, 60-50. Last 5 seasons, the MAC championship game has been Siena's domain. But that senior class, which made it to 4 straight, graduated. Edwin Ubilis, Alex Franklin, Ronald Moore, they are gone. So the Saints this year have come back to the pack. And really, it's wide open with a month between now and when they will be cutting down the nets in Bridgeport, Derek.
I think it's going to be an exciting MAC tournament. Any team in this league can beat any team at any given time, watching out throughout this year. And I think that any of these teams in the last 6 games that gets hot, that's going to be the team that's going to be the most dangerous.
Mike Glover, 21 points. The lead back to 12 with 3 on the clock. Again, nice job by Alejo Rodriguez, fronting Rossiter. He's called for the foul as he thought he got all ball. But Rodriguez has done a terrific job defensively on the low post, Coach.
He has, but Iona and Coach Klus have done a nice job of changing defenses, disguising their defense. That time they showed zone, but they actually was in man-to-man that time. They confused Siena a little bit, but they got the ball in the Rossiter, and he created the foul. Now, let's see if Siena can, after this score, they can get some pressure and get back in this game and maybe create some steals.
Now 2 made free throws as Ryan Rossiter comes up with another double-double. Machado replaces Rodriguez, and Iona goes with a 4-guard offense as Rodriguez takes a seat. And that's 4 guards along with Mike Glover, who has the athletic ability to play on the perimeter as well.
Siena has to step it up here and create some kind of havoc on the defensive end because it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Down 10. You got to really push the tempo here.
Machado recognizes that Breeden was close enough that the official was counting that if he didn't put the ball to the floor, he's going to be called for a 5-second violation. Now with 6 to shoot, Jenkins hits. It's about as effective as you can do it. Good to see Kyle Smythe back in the ball game. Another near steal. They got the bloody nose cleaned up. But it is Siena basketball.
Smart play by Jenkins that time, Doug. Really penetrating here against Jackson and not creating a chop, pulling up and making a nice short jump shot here. He's done a nice job stepping in for Machado at the point guard position.
Indeed, he's been scoring the basketball too with 17 points. Same can be said for Jonathan Breeden, filling in for Siena starting point guard Rakeem Brookins. Breeden now has a new career high with 18 points. And a timeout called by Siena. The Saints have just 1 remaining. Saturday through Tuesday, ESPNU has college basketball action that you won't want to miss with games featuring the Atlantic 10, the Big East upset-minded Rutgers and St. John's, the Big 12 Conference, and the number 4 ranked women's team in the country, the Lady Volunteers of Tennessee. Rutgers and St. John's coming off of huge home victories against top 10 teams, and again you'll have a chance to see the Scarlet Knights and the Johnnies right here on the U. Now, whenever I ask you which one you're going to watch, Coach, you say every single one of them. You don't have enough time in your day to watch every single one. Which game of those 5 are you most looking forward to?
Well, since I was an A-10 guy, Temple versus Dayton. Brian Gregory's done an outstanding job there at Dayton, and Temple is a really dangerous basketball team. Fran McCaffrey has taken that team to 3 NCAA tournaments in a row, and I think that Temple is a team to watch here coming down the stretch.
1 o'clock Eastern on Saturday.
And I'm going to watch the Seton Hall and Rutgers game too, and the Kansas game, and the St. John's game.
But you're starting with Fran Dunphy and the Temple Owls.
Absolutely.
There you go. Near turnover, Jenkins. Here comes Siena. Down by 9. Breeden just continues to score. He's now got 20. And another quick timeout by the Saints. They're last with 1:22 on the clock, so the Saints certainly have not given up. Down 64-57.
Jenkins is doing it all. He's running the team, he's defending, he's really stepped up his scoring.
Now, the last 3 years in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, it's been all Siena. The Saints defeated Ryder for the MAC championship in 08. This was played in Albany. Tate Fisher, who, by the way, is now a Harlem Globetrotter. He goes by the name Firefly Fisher, getting a hug there by now Iowa coach Fran McCaffrey. And Kenny Hasbrook, who spent time last year with the Miami Heat, cut down the nets. He was the league player of the year in 09. And then last year, Edwin Ubelis did a lot of things like that. And they hoisted another trophy for the 3rd straight year, beating Fairfield. But this year, it seems to be Fairfield's championship to lose going in. The Stags have been the best team from the beginning of the year till now. But Siena has been the best team the last 3 years, no question about it.
Yeah, I've been in that position before with Fairfield and Coach Cooley. You predicted to win the conference, win the championship. It's more pressure on them. The only advantage about the MAC championship this year is that it's in Connecticut. That will give Fairfield a little bit of advantage, but anybody can win this tournament.
Well, there's no question that over the years, the best crowds for the MAC tournament have turned out in Albany. They've had the tournament also down at the Meadowlands. They've been at Trenton, out to Buffalo, down to Bridgeport. Next year, it'll move to Springfield, Massachusetts. But over the years, there's no question the fans in Albany who come out and force an average about 8,000 per game during the regular season for Siena come out in bigger numbers than that during the tournament, and the Saints have benefited from that home court advantage during the MAC championships, but this year they won't have that on their side.
Well, I've played up there at Siena Arena, and that is an excellent atmosphere for college basketball. They really support their team. And add on to that, Doug, they're going to play in the MAC Conference Championship in your own building. That's even more support for your particular home team. Let's see if that same thing is going to happen for Fairfield this year, the tournament being in Connecticut.
Yep, and you've got to try and take advantage. Now, again, the league is moving to a new 3-year contract in Springfield, Mass., which will be a completely neutral site event in 2012, 13, and 14, so they'll take the home court advantage completely out of it. Nice runner by Breeden with just over a minute to go. It's back to a 5-point ball game. 22 points now for the sophomore point guard from Harrisburg, PA.
Siena's got to get a foul here. They're down 5, but they got to stop the clock.
Coming up next, more college basketball. Prairie View A&M against Grambling State in the SWAC. Whistle and a foul given up by Siena. It's Jonathan Breeden, the violator. 8th team foul against Siena, so just a 1-and-1 here for Iona. Scott Machado at the line, 68% this year from the stripe. Still a 2-possession game. If you're Siena, are you looking almost exclusively for a 3-point shot down 6 here, Coach?
Well, right here you have a 2-possession game. You take the first available shot, but now if you got a wide open 3, you got to knock it down.
Trinity Verdeen does just that. It's a 3-point ball game with 30 seconds on the clock. Timeout, Iona.
This college basketball game with the 3-point shot, the game is never over. So right here, it's important for Iona to get this basketball open. Good recognition, hitting the 3-point in the corner, And now it gives with a timeout, it gives Siena time to set up their defense. And Iona has to get this basketball in because Siena's going to be really aggressive trying to create a steal.
And a first basket of the night by freshman Trinity Burdine, who is just a 21% shooter from beyond the arc coming into the ball game tonight, but his three pulls his team to within 3. The Saints on a 10-1 run, and like you say, you've always got a puncher's chance with that three-point line in play.
Well, believe it or not, Doug, 30 seconds is a long time in a college basketball game. And as you can see right now, Siena is setting up their defense. And they think they have an opportunity. They must get a steal. If they don't get a steal here, you got to get a quick foul.
Shot clock is off. 30 seconds remain in regulation. Rashawn Dwight gets it in. Machado fouled by Downey. And again, Machado, who so far tonight is only 1 for 5 from the line. He missed his first 3, made his 4th, and then missed his most recent. So they have certainly, as Siena, identified the guy they wanted to foul, and they got him right off of the inbound.
Well, this is his time right now to step up for his team and knock down a couple big free throws to extend the lead. Let's see how he responds.
Alejo Rodriguez back in for Iona. Kyle Smythe out. And Machado, the 6'1 junior point guard from Queens, makes the front end. A huge free throw for Tim Kloos, who calls a timeout. So now that changes the complexion of everything. And now Tim Kloos will say what in that huddle, Coach?
Yeah, excellent timeout here. What Coach Kloos is trying to do is set his defense up. He wants no three-point shots here, and more importantly, Doug, no fouls. You don't want to foul right here, even if they score a 2-point shot.
Well, Siena using a 10-1 run late to get back into this ball game when it looked 3 minutes ago like Iona had this one in its hip pocket. But now if you're Siena, you're going to be down either 4 or 5. What do you do with 28.9 of the clock?
Well, 28 seconds, believe it or not, is a lot of time left in this basketball game. If Siena can come down and take the best available shot and get a 2-point shot, get a timeout, and set your defense up, it'll be a one-possession game, and they've still got a chance.
So there's Trinity Burdine and Jonathan Breeden. Burdine just moments ago hit a big three-pointer. Breeden, meanwhile, shattering his old career high of 15 points with 22 so far tonight in a starter's role. And at the line, Scott Machado, the all-conference guard who's coming off the bench tonight as a coach's decision. Missed the second. Siena with the ball down by 4. Breeden driving. No. Out of bounds, Iona basketball. What'd you think of the shot selection there for the young point guard?
Well, it was a good decision to go to the basket and try to create a foul. It was a tough shot. I just think that Iona showed good help defense there by coming over and helping a little bit and just creating a tough shot for Breeden.
And now Iona will send one of its better free throw shooters to the line, Jermel Jenkins, who is an 84% shooter. Now you see the look. Machado with a nice job cutting off Breeden on the baseline.
Yeah, but Rodriguez came over from the help side and kind of discouraged that shot a little bit, trying to get a block, and really a good help defense by Iona that time.
Jenkins has been pure on most every shot, whether it be a 3 or a free throw. I don't know if he's hit the rim tonight, as he's put up 18 points.
Well, he's an excellent shooter, but more importantly, he has done an outstanding job by substituting in at the point guard position for Machado. He's done a nice job of running the team as well.
1 out of 2. 16 seconds left in regulation. Siena with the ball down 5. Jonathan Breeden again to the bucket. This time met with less resistance, and he gets the 2.
Must get a steal right here.
Pressure broken, though. 7 seconds, 6. And now the foul given as Rossiter finally was able to catch up with Glover. So now again, Iona in the double bonus will have 2 opportunities to extend this back to a 2-possession ball game.
Doug, if Glover knocks one of these free throws in, if it's possible, they can close this game out.
Although remember what happened with Villanova and Rutgers the other night. 4-point play with under a second to go. You never know. Iona has not beaten Siena since January 24th of 2006. Glover now with 22 points. Tim Kloos uses its last timeout. And so now with 6.7 on the clock, they talk things over once again. Let's take a look at Mike Glover, Optimus Prime. He's got it shaved in his head today, and he has played like that nickname indicates. He is a high riser who can also knock down the shot. And for all of that, #1 in white for the Iona Gales is our Pepsi Max player of the game. And right now his team's on top by 4 after he just hit a big free throw to make it a 4-point ball game. There he is, our Pepsi Max player of the game. And he's been bringing that kind of energy on both ends of the floor all night long. He's played well defensively on Rossiter when they've matched up. He's gone to the floor many, many times. Hasn't gotten back up so quickly a couple of times. He went down so hard, but he's played a real good game on both ends.
And he's playing an excellent all-around game here, Doug. He's done it on the defensive end. He's made some excellent passes. He's scored. He has really wanted to get this basketball game here tonight, and he stepped up.
Well, Iona had lost 4 straight ball games heading into Monday's game against Manhattan here in New Rochelle. And the Gales, intent on turning things back around. Remember, 3 weeks ago, this Iona team was in first place in the MAC along with Fairfield before that losing streak. But they seem to have righted their wrongs and are on the verge of winning a second straight game after losing those 4 in a row.
But this could be a key win for them here to jumpstart them going into the MAC tournament. Really could help them get on a roll here.
Ryan Rossiter just goes to the official immediately and says that the clock should not have started because the foul was called on Rodriguez before the ball got to him. I mean, he's thinking like a coach before the horn even sounded. He's already realizing we should not have any time off the clock. So the officials are going to take another look to see if from 6.7, again, Coach, you explain what's going on here. The clock doesn't start until somebody touches it.
Absolutely, and that long pass, and actually the foul was created before he even touched the basketball. So
Ryan Rossiter was right. It should go back to 6.7 if indeed what the official saw occurred before the ball was touched.
Absolutely, but we have to watch here, Doug, the timing in which the ball was being received by Rossiter and when the foul actually occurred.
Right. And so they do put it back to 6.7. So Ryan Rossiter heads up. Not that Mitch Bonaguro and his staff wouldn't have come up with that as well, or the officials wouldn't have, but credit Ryan Rossiter for recognizing the instant that it occurred that they should be putting time back on the clock. So they put an extra 2.6 back to get it back to 6.7, and that could be valuable, precious time.
Absolutely. If he can knock these 2 free throws down here and make it a 2-point game with 6.7 seconds ago and get a steal, they can tie this basketball game up.
It could be some sort of near half-court shot pass that gets dunked in for the game winner even.
Maybe.
Derek Wittenberg. But Rossiter misses the first.
So if he makes this free throw here, Doug, Siena's going to set their pressure up, and they must get a steal. If they don't get the steal, got to get a quick foul.
No timeouts remaining either way. He gets the second. Back to a 3-point game. 13 points for Rossiter. Jackson gives up the foul to again send Jenkins, one of the better free throw shooters in the league, back to the foul line to shoot 2.
Yeah, you fouled the wrong guy, but you don't have any choice with 6 seconds left. You got to take the first available foul, and Siena did that. And hopefully that for Siena, Jenkins could miss 1 or 2 free throws here. They may have a chance. But Jenkins is an excellent free throw shooter with nice form and rotation. I don't see him missing.
I think that's the first time he's even hit the rim.
I watched this guy at practice the other day. This guy is an outstanding shooter, and And what a clutch player here in the second half.
Well, his career high was 21 at Albany earlier this year. He's got 19 after missing the second. Rossiter going to fire it up at the buzzer. And the Iona College Gales, for the first time in 1,845 days, or 5 years and 19 days, they have beaten the Siena Saints. Tim Cluse, Michael Glover, and the Iona Gales post a big victory over Siena, 69-65. Glover goes for 22. He's our Pepsi Max player of the game. The Gales improved to 15-10 overall, 9-5 in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now we send you to Prairie View A&M versus Grambling State.